Hello, I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer with RealTime Fantasy Sports. Welcome to another edition of the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. It is time for 5 of my favorite waiver wire pickups for week 8 of the fantasy football season. I hate to say this, but a lot of you could be scouring the waiver wire this week. We had a lot of major injuries this past week, leaving some teams with some holes at some key positions. Some big-time players went down. Brandon Ayuk, Chris Godwin, just not a good week for fantasy owners when it comes to injuries and also production as well. A lot of players just did not have very good games last week. There were a lot of low scoring games, unfortunately. So some of you may be looking for waiver wire help, even if you don't have one of those injured players. And I'm here to help. I'm going to give you 5 of my favorite pickups for this week. And I'm going to start with Baltimore Ravens receiver Rashard Bateman. He's owned on 38% of leagues on our site. So he's out there in more than half the leagues on our site. And he's really started to produce at a good clip lately in the high-powered Ravens offense. He had his first 100-yard game of the season last week. He has 11-plus fantasy points, 4 or 5 games, getting it done on a weekly basis, a good red zone and big play target in this offense. He's really trending up right now, and I think he's a good pickup for anybody looking for receiver help. My next pickup for this week is Jamus Winston of the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson is out for the year, tore his Achilles. This puts Winston in the starting lineup. I know Dorian Thompson-Robinson played last week, but Winston is going to be the guy. He is the best fit for that offense. He's always hit or miss, but man, he's capable of a big game any given week. So I think Winston could be a good addition in 2 quarterback leagues for sure, and even some deeper leagues as well. Could be a good, decent number 2 starting quarterback and a good streaming play in the right matchup because the Browns aren't very good. They could be playing from behind a lot, so Winston could get some chances to air it out, and he could be a good, decent pickup. Again, his track record shows he can produce a big game. Easy for me to say. All right, my next pickup is Tyler Goodson of the Indianapolis Colts. I don't know when Jonathan Taylor is going to return, but as long as he's out, Goodson's the guy I'm using in this offense. He's 21.9% owned, so he's out there in a ton of leagues. Trey Sermon just hasn't been great. I think Goodson has legit fantasy value right now. He's emerging as the back to use in this offense, in my opinion. He has double-digit fantasy points each of his last 2 games, scored his first touchdown of the season last week. He does well in the passing game as well, so he could be a good flex option as long as Taylor is out of the starting lineup. My next fantasy pickup for this week is Cleveland Browns receiver Cedric Tilman. He's owned on just 1.6% of leagues on our site, out there in nearly every league. Jerry Jeudy, many thought, would be the top target in this offense after Amari Cooper was traded, but no, it was Tilman last week. 12 targets in the game, 8 catches for 81 yards. He's a big-time talent, a good receiver that can stretch the field, has some ability to make big plays as well. I like him a lot as a pickup for this week, especially if you're an Ayuk or Chris Godwin. I think he could really be a help the rest of the way. My last pickup is another receiver, and it's a rookie. It's Ricky Pearsall of the San Francisco 49ers, owned on just 13.1% of leagues on our site. Played his first NFL game of his career last week, caught 3 passes for 21 yards on 5 targets. Brandon Ayuk, as mentioned, is out for the season. This leaves Pearsall a chance to play a much bigger role. Juwan Jennings is also banged up, has a hip injury. Who knows when he's going to return? But even if Jennings is playing, I still think Pearsall is going to have a role in the offense. And apparently Deebo Samuel is really sick as well. Spent the night in the hospital or something along those lines because of his illness. So either way, I think Pearsall is going to play a big role in the offense in the coming weeks. I like his potential. Seems a great fit for the offense. He's the future at the position for the team. Really talented player. They need playmakers right now. Pearsall could get a lot of looks. All right, those are 5 of my favorite waiver wire pickups for week 8 of the fantasy football season. Good luck navigating those waiver wires and have a lot of success in week 8. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports.